10, 9, 8. Ignition sequence start. 5.
We are about to enter a strange and amazing world.
0.
The world of the imagination. A world of the future. Of warriors and dragon slayers. Of folkloric superheroes. And evil beings. Of brave space travelers and new worlds to conquer. Of prehistoric monsters, aliens, death rays. Things chaotic. And things exotic. This is a world that for many years was sealed off from ours, for the images we are seeing were produced on the other side of the globe, in Soviet Russia, a country hidden from us for decades behind an iron curtain. We knew little of the artists, inventors, and writers who created the films seen here. For the greater part of a century, their works were blocked from Western eyes and ears, because to see such things was somehow un-American. After all, they were the work of the enemy. What did we know or even care to know about the dreams and fantasies and hopes of the people there? We called them the evil empire. We will bury you. Your capitalism is doomed, we were told, as images of Soviet soldiers, weapons on the march, and missiles aimed in our direction were fed to us in newsreels and papers and on TV. And those mutual hatreds grew as the threats spread to outer space. These fears reached a peak in the 1950s and 60s, yet one could often escape them through popular forms of entertainment. The TV sitcom, musicals, fads, or at its most outlandish, the Saturday matinee. Drive-in, full of spaceships, mad scientists, and monsters that one could hardly take seriously. Not very subtle, yet somehow the American way. But Lenin knew that the popular media could be used as a means of indoctrination. Even the fantastic images of spaceships and monsters could be utilized to further their cause, to elevate and educate the human race, promote science, and celebrate human civilization under the coming socialism, and to show, often against the wishes of the filmmakers themselves, the supposed evils of greedy capitalism. Armed with pioneering special effects, Soviet filmmakers were pressed into service to depict the communist dream in science fiction tales of utopian worlds to come. Scientific Fantastika could be used to show the gleaming cities the people would inhabit in the future, or to excite revolution by transferring it to other planets. Children's films could be used to carry the communist message, puppets representing the Soviet man, modernizing, constructing the new socialist empire, or even conquering space. And heroes depicted in folktales, giant mythological figures out of Russian literature, could be recast in the new role of saviors of the common man, willing to fight for liberation and battle evil capitalist tyrants. The same heartless beings who, in the guise of ghostly spirits, could tempt, torment, and take over man, possibly even destroy the Soviet motherland. This, then, is the first look at Russian Fantastika, the fantastic cinema of the former Soviet Union. For the next 2 hours, we will meet the artists and filmmakers, writers, designers, and directors charged with creating these heroic tales and amazing scenes. Individuals who struggled to keep fantasy alive and free of propaganda and looked to a peaceful future. Stretching their imaginations to their limits, long before the advent of computerized special effects, they labored under terrible working conditions, with tiny budgets, under threat of starvation, censorship, punishment, banishment. We'll meet ingenious animators like Ladislaw Starowitz. In 1912, the impoverished artist breathed life into a fantasy world of weird creatures made up of paper scraps, fish bones, string, and cardboard, who used dried-up insect carcasses as his actors, all he could afford. Then there's special effects man Mikhail Koryakov, who, in writing a letter to Pravda in support of science fiction, was banished forever from his home within 24 hours. And the censoring of science fiction director-writer Pavel Klushantsev, his passionate desire to film his story The Moonstone, depicting at the height of the space race the peaceful cooperation between Russians and Americans to make a journey to the moon. But the communist authorities tell him, "We don't need anyone's help to conquer space," crushing Klushantsev's dream. And they were not the first, nor the last of those who tried to dream their own dreams in a society that punished those who did so. As the Soviet Union entered its death throes in the early 1990s, and the film artists retired, so did this peculiar branch of the fantastic fade and die, with all of its startling vistas and special effects and beauty. What survives is a record on film, depicting dreams that outlived the tragic society itself. This is the behind-the-scenes story of these fantastic motion pictures, as shown through extremely rare and never-seen-before footage and stills, and told in the words of the filmmakers themselves. Red Fantasies is the first documentation of the struggle of Russian filmmakers to create film Fantastika and preserve the human imagination.